What's up, Adam here from CatClawZ. We're just going over a couple things about the CatClaw rod holders. Today we're going to be comparing it to more of the traditional style you might see where you hammer on top, comparing it to the stomp plate, and then we'll kind of go into that stomp plate. There's other things I'd like to discuss about it, and pros on what makes this so beneficial. So let's get right into it. I'm going to stomp it, or I'm going to pound the traditional style in with the hammer, and then stomp in my CatClaw, and we'll kind of discuss the benefits of the stomp pad. All right, let's go to the stomper right away, and then after that we'll discuss. I'll get it out of the ground. There's no holes down there, but just so I'm not cheating. All right, so let's discuss. All right, so let's go over the traditional style. I don't know, maybe it took about 20 hits to get down to that. Hammer slipped a little bit. The one thing I don't like about it is when you're hammering it, you got to start out, you got to put your hand on the side. I mean, you could put it right here, but either way you put your hand, you always have that option to slip off and hit your hand, which won't feel good. But other than that, it went in. It did take a little bit longer, but it went in. The stomper took about maybe 10 stomps, I think. I wasn't counting. But what I like to do when I stomp it in, stomp light and then start stomping harder each stomp as you get further in. This ground right now is really dry, really hard, so it is a little bit harder to get both of them in. But as you can see, the stomper went in a lot easier, and the spikes on the traditional style are about the same length of where I hammered it to the spikes on the stomper. So yeah, so you can see that the stomper works really efficient. But you can also hammer it in from these points if it's really rocky underground. These spikes do move, so they can bounce around rocks and stuff like that. This is 5/16 steel. And it's cold rolled, so it's got a really good memory. Bounces back. You can widen it out, but it bounces right back usually to its original form. Let's get into kind of when they are setted. You got your rods in there and you're waiting for that takedown. The one thing that benefits with this stomp plate is a really big benefit of the stomp plate is it has this surface area in front now. Creating more ground surface, so make sure when you get your stompers into the ground, make sure it's nice and flush to that stomp plate, because that does help right here. So when you get a takedown, your rod, it's right on the ground, so it can't move. If you have it a little bit higher, there's always an option, which kind of goes into the traditional style. There's no surface area, you just got the two spikes, so it can go all the way down, especially if you're in sand. So the spikes on these guys are about 9 to 10 inches. If you are fishing into like a sandy beach soil area, I do include these of no charge. They come with the rod holders themselves, and they just mount right into this hole, and you can hammer that in. It gives you a little bit more extra surface area under the ground. Last week we were out in the Mississippi. I didn't even bring my spikes, so I decided I buried my pad maybe about 1 inch or 2, maybe 1 inch even, just below the sand, and then I covered the pad up with sand and just packed it down with my foot. It worked great. We caught a bunch of flatheads with it, and we didn't have any issues with losing rods or the rod holders popping off on or popping down on takedowns. But I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about just by putting some pressure on the rod holders, pushing them forward. For granted, the The traditional style I made a few years ago is a prototype. It is thinner material, but you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about, and it would look just exactly the same as the thicker one. So let's get right into that quick. So when you get a takedown, this is going to go like that. When you get a takedown on this guy, that's putting a lot of tension on it. So you got that front piece keeping your rod holder straight up. I mean, there is flex. This part right here is going to flex a little bit. It is made, that's why I like the thinner material. I like the little bit of flex. It kind of helps adjust to your rod as well. So it's not just all in your rod. This is helping out with your rod. So that is one very big benefit of having a CatClawZ stomper over a traditional style, especially in softer soils and even in like regular soil like this. And I'm going to kind of go over an item you can get. It's called a Guard Dog, Guard Dog Pro. You can look them up on Facebook at Guard Dog Pro or Guard Dog on Duty on Facebook. There's a whole page, videos, setups, and everything. But with my CatClawZ stompers, I have this hole in here, but it was designed for another idea I had, but I kind of threw it out. And then I found out about these Guard Dogs, and someone that has my rod holders was talking to me about using them. And what you're usually supposed to do is take the tensioner string. This string right here is supposed to be staked. Usually it's staked in the ground, probably right about here or anywhere in here. And then this part. This part goes on your rod tip right here. But with this hole being here, it works perfect. You just go to the hardware store, you can pick up a clip like this. I got a stainless steel just so it doesn't rust. And it works perfect using this Guard Dog. So I'm going to set it up and I'm going to kind of show you what it's all about. I'm not going to go through setting up the Guard Dog itself. So maybe in another video I'll do that. But I'm just kind of give you a gist of what this is all about and how it works. So let me get my rod and I'm going to set my camera up a little bit different here. What? All right, let me back her up a little bit. Raise this up. Sorry. All right, so let's plop the pole in the rod holder. So with the bait casters, you're going to want to run your bait casters down, which is fine, because you're going to have to bend your rod tip down to hook up to this, the Guard Dog. So let me hook up the Guard Dog here and I'll kind of walk around and kind of tell you what's going on. Alright, so we got the Guard Dog hooked up. So what happens here is you put the Guard Dog right through the eye lip. You got either heavy or you got your light tension here. So right now it's set kind of at medium heavy. And then your line just goes right around this little fork here after you cast it, and you set it and you're all set. So what happens is when you get a fish on, that's all right. So when you get a fish on, that's okay. So what's really nice about this is if you got a lot of poles, or you got a lot of family out, everybody wants to fish and nobody has time to keep an eye on all the poles, these are really nice. My kids love them. And it's just something really beneficial to have around when you got a lot of family or just kids, because they just love using them. So what happens is you set your line, you cast it out there, you hook this guy on there, and you just make sure your line's tight going into the water. Just reel it up a little bit to get that tension, and then you just hook her up into there. And what happens then is when you get a fish on, let me get a little bit, let me get, see how I can do this here. Actually, I'll show you. I gotta change the view here. So when you get a fish on and it pulls, that rod tip's gonna pop out of there and set the hook for you. So, and it pops back up, but right through the cardboard, and it'll pop back up and set the hook for you, in case you're not looking and you got, you know, maybe 8 rods out and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. That thing will set the hook for you. A really nice option, and my kids just love them. They've done excellent with them, catching a lot of fish. But you can check these guys out at Guard Dogs on Duty on Facebook, or you can go to their and their website's, I think, linked in that as well to order them. You can use my promo code Adam5, get a little discount off your order. But yeah, that's a sweet combo deal to get hooked up on some more fish. Not worry about losing your rod, not worried about losing fish either. So check it out. But I am super hot. I got to get ready for tomorrow. We're doing a little bit of fishing and camping next through the weekend here. So you guys keep taking it easy and keep on hooking.